policy, but also because of my experience. As somebody who has relatives overseas, if I go to a poor country, I can speak to them about both our obligations as a wealthy nation, but also their obligations to root out corruption and help themselves. I can do that with the credibility of having a grandmother who lives in a small village in Africa without running water. If I go to address Muslim leaders about their need to align themselves with us and a modern approach to the world, then I do so with the credibility of having lived in a Muslim country for 4 years. So I think that gives me a level of credibility, and then when you add to the fact that I was opposed to the war from the start, that I think my judgments over the last several years on issues ranging from the need for direct talks with our enemies to the need for us to root out Al-Qaeda in the hills of Pakistan, that I think have been accurate, have been correct. I think that I could usher in a new era of a realistic, tough-minded, but compassionate foreign policy that would serve us well. So with that, let me stop and open it up for questions.
Go ahead, Grant.
You go.
Talk about, you talk about a new relationship with the world. What should America's relationship really be? I mean, it's after this war,
That's our
you
role.
hope to want. Yeah. That you hope to wind down.
Well, look, I don't think we can avoid our role as the lone superpower in the world. That carries with it special obligations. We are still underwriting a lot of the international economic infrastructure. We are still underwriting a lot of the international security needs of the world. But I think that, when I think of my model for our foreign policy, I go back to the post-World War II era of Kennan and Marshall and Atchison, those who helped, structure the international architecture after World War II. And I think their basic premise was, precisely because we're the most powerful country in the world, it is in our interest to create a set of international rules that all people are abiding by, or at least everybody